coming from that filthy, disgusting German we all know and love, Christian Cola, it is the new Grindstein plugin. What's it sound like? Check this out. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be fun. Let's check it out. So I was very fortunate that I got to travel to Germany at the end of August. I got to hang out with Henning Pauly, but I took a couple extra days and did a little more traveling. Went to go visit Lewitt and Vienna, and then we flew back to Germany and then jumped on a train and headed down to this little station called Bickenbach. We went up in the hills and went to the studio of Christian Cola. We went to Cola Keller's studio. He's got a really great setup there. And Christian introduced us to his Grindstein plugin, which is based off the Grindstein pedal, which I've had sitting on my shelf for months, which is still seriously overdue for a full-on review. Anyway, we've got a software version of it, and there's a lot of extra little goodies here. This is basically an amp sim that doesn't sound like your typical amp sim. What's great is I find this works as a blender. You can use this, say, if you're doing quad rhythm tracks, you can use like a tube amp on 2 tracks, or a tube amp sim in the case I'm going to show you in a minute here. And then you can throw the Grindstein on the accompanying tracks, and it just kind of fills in the gaps a little bit. This is something I got turned on to about a year and a half ago by Frederick Nordstrom when he was explaining to me how he kind of layered the tones together for the Clayman record. It was a 5150, but it was also a valve state. It's come to my knowledge that tube amps might not be enough for really awesome metal tone. If you can blend, if you can do more than 2 rhythm tracks, if you can do 2 tube tracks and then 2 tracks of disgusting madness, usually help thicken the sound up quite a bit. And when it comes to disgusting madness, this fucking thing really takes the cake. I mean, this is basically an HM2 on hyper steroids. So what we've got here is quite simply in-out controls. We've got a gate. Seems to do the job pretty well. We've got the Grindstein itself. We've got an EQ, which is called the Fleisch. And I love the artwork on this. It kind of accentuates the whole filthy, disgusting madness of it. And then we've got a cab sim. And this is all based off Christian's cabs he's got at his place, which he was kind enough to show me. Then we got on a whole thing about vintage 30s, and that was kind of how that last video I did a couple of weeks back about how the speaker's the most important part of your tone. That's one of the catalysts for doing that video was how we were talking about Christian's cabs, actually. So this is great, though, because we've got digital recreations of what cabinets are being used at Cola Keller Studios. So I think that's really important that we get that particular sound. So just go over the Grindstein real quick here. We've got... That's the cab selector. Pay attention, Glenn. Fuck's sakes. All right, here we go. If I can get this right. GS, yes. Okay. So we got boost, mid-cut, grind, high, master, treble, bass, gain, and a couple of little switches. Turn it off. Oh, that's the boost on and off. Okay, so we want super disgusting. Mid-cut. This is where it gets interesting right in here. Oh, that's cool. I like that right there. That's the interesting control right there. Sweet spot seems to be like right in the 1-2 o'clock position here for the mix. Okay, I think we're mixing the mid cut and the highs. Okay, I see how that fits together. Just learned that. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's pretty wicked right there. But everybody's going, oh, Glenn, it sounds like shit. It sounds like shit. It's supposed to sound like shit. That's the whole point of the HM2. We don't want glorious tube distortion. We want disgusting, because it's when you blend those kind of sounds together. That's where it gets fucking interesting. So yeah, we got an EQ here as well, because there wasn't apparently enough EQ controls on the Grindstein itself. I love how they're just named like different things. Dozer, cleansing, scoop, chainsaw. Like, none of that makes any fucking sense from an audio standpoint, but from a metal standpoint, that sure is a lot of fun. Okay, that sounded pretty rude right there. And then, of course, the finishing touch, which is also the most important part in the chain, the cab sim. Love these names. Modern Gore, Modern Disgust, More Gore. Let's go with the Wolverine right there. That might sound a little hollow, actually. Again, it sounds small, it sounds disgusting, but this is not meant to sit on its own. This is meant to blend with something else and create a much bigger sound than either element could create. Oh, that actually works right there. The More Gore. Let's go with that, yeah. Very important that it's taken into context here, is that something might sound small and shitty by itself, but something small and shitty by itself might sound absolutely massive in a mix. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going to pull up this mix I've been doing with the Grindstein, and you guys remember that Rhino demo I did about a week and a half ago. I've got them both going in the mix here, and this is what I'm getting. I'm really happy with this tone. So what this is, it's a blend of the Grindstein with the Rhino. So the Rhino is a really great tube amp sim. I demoed that a couple weeks ago. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. It's over at Aurora DSP, and it's absolutely killer stuff. But when we bring in the Grindstein here, this is where it gets real interesting. So I'll just solo up the Rhino. Big, beefy tube sound, no problem there. We bring in the Grindstein, and this is a little bit nastier. Kind of small, kind of thin, but watch what happens when you put the two together. All of a sudden, you've got this great blend, and it's just freaking huge. And I find when working with the Grindstein in the mix, what's really important is that you get it kind of set up, you know, not too insane here, but just start changing the cabs in and out to find out what works in context with your bass tube sound, or tube sim sound in this case. That's a little bit hissy there on the Wolverine, but I think that's actually kind of cool. Let's hear that in the context of the whole mix. Oh, yeah. Did I mention that's just going on the lead sound by itself? It's working in the context of a mix because it's being supported by the bass guitar and the rhythm guitars. And we're getting a pretty serious lead tone going on here. And that's just basically the Grindstein with a little bit of delay and a little bit of micro shift going on just to give it a bit of depth. And if we bring up the Grindstein here, here's what we've got it set to. And again, this is all just about kind of finding the right cab sim to work in the mix. So that's the modern disgust cab right there. And I really like that. That's a little bit smoother. The filth and slime's cool on the rhythm, but it doesn't quite work in the context of a lead on top of it. And then again, it might be just clashing frequencies. Who the hell knows? But the thing is, if you mute out the Grindstein and just go with the Rhino, it seems like the mix just kind of loses something. One more time. So just kind of volume compensating here. I'm turning off the Grindstein, just bringing up the Rhino track. And that's very nice, but when we bring the Grindstein back in, it just kind of gives it this overwhelming depth. But again, on its own, it just sounds thin and weak. Of course, I've been taking you guys through this mix a little bit. Let's check out the finished mix and what I got with it. All right, so that's the Grindstein VST. Gotta say, that is super cool. I'd say go check it out over at auditory.com and check out a demo, maybe get your hands on it. I made a special deal with these guys. We've got a 72-hour discount going on right now. Normal price on this thing's $99, but if you order in the next 72 hours and use the discount code FILTHY, you'll get it for $49. That is super cool. I love the fact that it's so different from so many other amp sims out there. It's filthy, it's disgusting, and it fucking works! It works great. It just adds some extra depth. You guys, I'd highly recommend quad tracking your guitars if you want to use this as a blender. It said on its own, it's a little bit thin, but in the context of a mix, wow, this is going to give things that extra punch you might be looking for. I know I was looking for something like this forever. It's absolutely stellar. Can't recommend it enough. But then again, don't take my word for it. Download the demo, check it out, because you're going to see that this is an absolute must-have for metal production. It's absolutely amazing. Anyway, links in the description below. Thanks for watching. Now go make some metal, you magnificent motherfuckers!